This is his podcast, In the Wry. It's the In the Wry Podcast. Curt Fletcher.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It's In the Wry Podcast with Curt Fletcher. I'm Curt Fletcher, doing another late night recording here. It's been a while, so it's been pretty busy last couple of months. Feels like it's been a couple of months since I've done one. Probably has. A couple of announcements real quick. You can vote for me. It's New Mexico Entertainment Awards website. I'm one of the top comedians in the category. You can vote for me for Best Comedian if you go to their website, which I don't know what it is because I didn't write it down. But if you Google New Mexico Entertainment Awards, you can find their website and you can vote for all the different categories, including Best Comedian. There's about 20 comics on there, like I said, and go vote for me if you want. Also, go vote for my buddy's band, Anesthesia. They're up there in one of the categories. A lot of my friends are in a bunch of different categories, so pretty excited to see who wins all these categories. I also have a new website for the podcast, InTheWryPodcast.com. It's up now. You can go check it out. It's got all the episodes on there. All the audio ones are on there, and then it has a link to the video ones on YouTube, or you can just go to YouTube and watch those. Also, my open bar comedy special will be released October 23rd. Just found out about that not too long ago. That'll be on their YouTube page. Excuse me. So yeah, my open bar special, which I recorded at the Looney's Comedy Club in Colorado Springs back in February. It's just going to be like a little 30-minute special that we recorded, and it's a bunch of old material that I don't want to do anymore. So it's kind of fun to do some of those jokes that I hadn't done in a while. And then some jokes I just don't want to do anymore. So that'll be out October 23rd. Let's see, tour dates I got coming up. I got some local gigs here in May. And then June 7th and 8th, I will be at Hyenas Comedy Club in Dallas, Texas, with Punky Johnson from Saturday Night Live. June 14th and 15th, I will be at Hyenas Comedy Club in Fort Worth, Texas, with Matthew Broussard. July 6th, I will actually be at Quesada's Comedy Club here in Bernalillo. I will actually be headlining the early show. It's a Saturday night, July 6th. I'll headline the early show, 7 o'clock. And then I'll also be on the late show, the 9:30 show as well. But it'd be cool if a lot of you came out to see me headline that club. That'd be badass. I don't think the tickets are on sale yet. Last I checked, they were not. I'm going to check again right now just to make sure. I don't think they are. I also have July 26th at the Brit Bar and Grill, which is in Britt, Iowa. Hobotown, not Homotown. Hobotown is what it's called. I've done a show there before. It was really fun. And then I'll also be in my hometown the next night, July 27th, Clarion, Iowa. The place is called Chappie's on Main. So I'm excited to do some shows in Iowa. I'm trying to line up some more too while I'm there. And then I'm going to Canada, you guys. Going to Canada for my first time ever. October 21st through the 26th, I will be headlining at the Comedy Cave in Calgary, Alberta, which I'm super excited about. Calgary seems like a cool town. I've had some people tell me it's a cool town. I've never been there, so just taking their word for it. And then I'll report back to you if I think it's a cool town or not. All right, let's talk about what's been going on. I've had quite a few shows since I last podcasted. I think the last podcast was a solo one, probably back in March. So since then, I did a gig at the Inn of the Mountain Gods, which is a fun casino spot I got to see an old friend of mine come down for that show. And I got to take AJ Martinez to open for me. That was a lot of fun. AJ is very funny. I need to get him on the podcast soon. I thought I'd had him on before, and I was looking through my list, and I haven't had him on. So I'll get him on soon, hopefully. He and I are actually performing at Turtle Mountain in Rio Rancho May 18th. Come to that if you're in the area, May 18th. I did some shows at Quesada's with Willie Barcena, and I was only doing shorter sets. My buddy Black Mike was hosting. I was doing 10, and then Willie's opener was doing 10. DJ Vasquez, and then Willie would do his time, just mostly an hour. But it was cool to get to see Willie. I hadn't never met him before, so it was cool to see him, and very funny dude. It's nice meeting DJ as well. I didn't get to see much of his show because he was only doing 10 minutes. I didn't want to go out in the green or not in the showroom and watch the show after my set. So, what else did I do? I did a set at Turtle Mountain. I actually I hosted the show so my buddy Eddie could headline. That was fun. Eddie Stevens, funny dude. Oh yeah, I went to Reno with my buddy Tim Gaither. We did the Laugh Factory. I hadn't been there in a couple years, so it's cool to get back there and doing the shows. The shows are actually really good. I had the best shows I've had there. Sometimes the shows can be pretty weird. You usually get like some weird heckling going on. It's like the club is in the casino. So I feel like a lot of the people there are pretty drunk going into the show already. And then they drink throughout the show also. And usually just get some weird hecklers. This time wasn't too bad, though. I don't really recall any terrible hecklers or anything like that. And the shows overall are pretty fun. We did Thursday through Sunday. We did 6 shows. You can see him. And the host was Steven Roberts, very funny dude from Vegas. We had worked with him before there. And, man, I got super stoned one night. I'm pretty lightweight, so I take like a small amount of edibles, usually 2.5 milligrams is all. And one night I decided to take 5. I was like, yeah, I can handle it. Let's do 5. It's after the Saturday shows. And we're sitting there's a restaurant we always go eat at after the shows and stuff and hang out and kind of just talk shit and get stoned and everything. But yeah, that 5 milligrams kicked my ass. I had a hard time getting back to my hotel room, which was only a few minutes away. I don't know. I'm talking about that. Yeah, so Reno was fun. There was also a big wrestling tournament going on. It was like a lot of kids wrestling, and one of my friend's kids was actually wrestling, and my friend wasn't able to make it. So I went and watched his kid wrestle on Saturday morning. His son got 3rd place. That was pretty cool. I got to watch him wrestle 2 matches. Got to see him in his medal matches and stuff like that. So that was cool to watch. Got to see a kid from Fort Dodge, Iowa win a title also. That was pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty fun to watch the tournament. It's kind of funny. There's a guy I had met. So a lot of the wrestlers and the families were staying in the same hotel as us. Since the venue is like pretty much right across the street. So me and Tim are big wrestling fans. We have a wrestling podcast, Stop Stalling Podcast, if you haven't listened to it. So it's cool. We got to meet like a lot of cool, wrestlers and wrestlers' families and stuff like that. And there's one guy I met on the elevator, and I was asking, how his kid was doing in the tournament and stuff, and He said the tournament was going a lot better than the Tulsa tournament. Tulsa's a big tournament too. He said he got disqualified for swearing at the ref. Thought that was kind of funny. And then the next day I see that kid. I think he was wrestling for third place and he lost. And then I could just hear his dad like just yelling at him like crazy, like behind me. Like they're sitting a couple rows behind me. And he was just, I mean, the kid was probably 8 or 9 years old. And his dad is just ripping into him. Like just, like saying shit like this is a national tournament, blah, blah, blah. Like just yelling at him, swearing at him. And it was like, no wonder he got disqualified, you dickhead. Oh, man. I don't know. I just felt bad for the kid. He's like 8 or 9 years old. It's like, I get that it's a national tournament, but holy shit. He's a kid. I don't know. So that was weird. I just, I don't know. I couldn't sit there too long. So I heard a lot of dads like that. Like, not as bad as that guy, but just yelling at their kids and stuff like that. It's like, calm down, man. I don't know. Maybe my dad would have been like that if he went to any of my sporting events. I don't know. I don't think he went to a single Little League game I played. I played 45 Little League games. I even played for the Giants. The Giants every year. He never came to a goddamn game. But that's for me and my therapist to talk about. Let's see. Yeah, so Reno was a good time. And then I just got back a couple weeks ago. I went to Iowa. I went to Des Moines. I was at the Funny Bone in Des Moines. This was my first time featuring there. I'd been there a couple times to host and stuff, so I can go visit my family. This time I got a feature with Tim. Just did one show Friday, one show Saturday. I flew in a few days early to hang out with some family. I got to hang out with my cousin Damien and his wife Amy, and then their daughter had a graduation party, so I got to go to that. That was pretty cool. Got to see a lot of family there, and then got to hang out with my cousin Devin and his wife Tammy and their kids and stuff for a few days. Went mushroom hunting. That's a big thing in Iowa. I wish it wasn't, because it was awful. Like I'd been mushroom hunting before, and that was pretty fun. I went up near Fort Dodge one time, and we actually found quite a few mushrooms that time. But this time, me and Devin went to this pretty woodsy area for about 3 hours, and we found one mushroom, and it sucked. It was hot out. We walked through a lot of shitty stuff. Ripped my hat. Devin tore his arms up pretty bad. He got cut a lot. Got some ticks. It was just a shitty experience. We should have went fishing for sure. So next time I'm there and it's mushroom season, I'm not going. Plus, I'm not a huge fan of eating the mushrooms. Like, those ones are pretty good, but I don't know. So we split that one mushroom between 6 of us, and that was pretty good. We didn't really. No, the shows were fun, though. The shows were great. Friday and Saturday, one show each, like I said. Usually, they have 3 comics, but they didn't. It was just me and Tim. It was a 2-man show, which is kind of weird, but, we dealt with it. It's not always the funnest, like going up cold, But we had good crowds. A lot of friends and family showed up, which was awesome. A lot of people came in from out of town, which was cool. I had some friends drive all the way from Forest City down to the show, which is a pretty long drive. So I got to hang out with some friends from high school and that I grew up with, till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and had a good time. Then I was supposed to get up at 7:30. Me and Tim were supposed to do a radio interview, and Tim didn't wake up. I was awake, even though I was up till 5. But we missed that interview. But it was cool. Saturday nights, some more family came down. A couple friends that I went to high school with also. It's crazy seeing people from high school that you hadn't seen since high school. Some of them look exactly the same. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it was a good time. Saw a cousin I hadn't seen in probably 30 plus years since we were youngins. So it was cool to see him again. And I don't know, it just meant a lot to me that these people came all the way down there just to, catch a show. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's not very many of them live in Des Moines, so that was pretty awesome that they drove all the way down there or up there or whatever, down there mostly. But yeah, thank you for coming out to those, you guys. And I'll be back in Iowa in July, like I said earlier. Trying to line up some more shows, hopefully. But right now I've got the 26th in Britain, 27th in Clarion. So hopefully I'll line up some more stuff. Thought I had more to talk about on this episode, but I really don't. Excited to see how my special turns out, though. It's just a 30-minute set. And we recorded 2 sets. The first one sucked, so I hope they don't use that one. I told them to use the second one, so hopefully they will. First one was just I was kind of sloppy because it was like a lot of jokes I hadn't done in a long time and didn't really know where to put them and stuff like that. And so in between shows, I really worked on my set list and figured things out. And I don't know, second show was a lot smoother. Probably a better crowd too. Just I don't know, had some hecklers and stuff, but I feel like I dealt with them all right. So excited to see how that turns out. It'd be nice to retire some of that material too. Yeah, that's all I wrote down on my little stupid note card, I think. Yeah, get tickets to see me. Be at Hyenas in Dallas and Fort Worth in June, Quesada's July 6th. And then if I know anyone in Canada, which I don't think I do, but come catch a show. I do have a lot of cool guests lined up. I know I always say that, but I do. And I'm going to try to record quite a few here at the in the month of May, since I don't have many gigs going on. So that's it for now. I'll leave it at this. Check out the new website, wrypodcast.com. Go to funnyfletcher.com for all my tour dates and ticket links and shit like that. Also, thanks to Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup for intro music. I'm actually going to see Bowling for Soup June 1st, I think it is. June 1st or 2nd, one of those nights. They're doing a 30-year anniversary show down in Texas right before I'm at Hyenas, so I'm going to go to that. So thanks for the intro music. Thanks to John Singleton from Anesthesia for the outro music. Go vote for Anesthesia at the New Mexico Entertainment Awards. That's it for now. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We will hopefully have an awesome guest for you next time. Talk to you later. Bye.